Now, this is a video that I definitely could have done maybe 2 years ago. Technically, I already have because I made a video on how to improve your aim in Splatoon 3. However, in this video, I'm going to be trying to teach you guys on how you can find your perfect sensitivity in Splatoon 3. I'm going to try to go in depth on how you can figure this out because there are several different factors that go into it. One of which, of course, is finding the sensitivity that is most comfortable. The next one is your movement. I think another one too is just how you hold the controller, because I feel like certain ways on how you hold your controller might actually affect how your sensitivity might feel, and maybe you might need to experiment a little bit more with it. But let's get into it because there's a lot to talk about, and I'm gonna try and do my best to explain on how you can find your perfect sensitivity. Now, the first thing that I always try to tell people when they're trying to figure out their perfect sensitivity in Splatoon 3 is first, of course, go into your equip screen and turn your sensitivity to 0, 0. This is basically the middle grounds of everything. Throughout this video, you could also play alongside because there are certain types of things that I'm going to do that's going to basically kind of open your eyes, where if you feel like your gyro is too fast or your gyro is too slow, then you either slow it down or you speed it up. Same with your stick sensitivity as well. So at first, keep it at 0, 0. I'm gonna turn my sensitivity right back to where it was before because I play on 5.5 right now currently, because this is the sensitivity that works currently for me where I'm most comfortable. Now, this is something that I feel like is going to open your eyes when it comes to actually figuring out your perfect sensitivity. So like I said, my sensitivity currently right now that I personally find the most comfortable at this point of time is 5.5. But the thing is, I think you need to also figure out how you actually hold the controller, and I guess where is it? I think it's the thing of, do I feel like I'm more comfortable holding my controller in my lap right here, because this is basically what I do? Or do you find having your controller in the air more comfortable, like this? Now, the thing that I'm going to ask you to do is that with gyro, what I want you to do is look at these two targets, this one and this one. And the thing that I'm going to ask you to do is that once you're pointing it at each target, just like this, you're going to start off slow, and I want you to go faster and point between each one faster as you keep going. I want you to see if you're comfortable of just pointing your crosshair back and forth between these two targets absolutely perfectly, and you pretty much don't want to be overshooting, you just want to go back and forth. Now, I want you to experiment doing this with your controller in hand, doing it on your lap, and I also want you to experiment doing this with your controller, but also in the air. Can you do it with in the air? Because at least with me, every time I try to do it in the air, it's a little bit more, I guess, less accurate, or I tend to overshoot the target a whole lot more, and mainly it's because I feel less comfortable having my controller in this position. So you might see me overshoot a little bit. I'm not even trying to. I'm trying to be as accurate as possible. Like, if I try to slow down, then I do it properly, but like a lot of the time, actually, I will tend to overshoot. But when I have my controller in my lap, I definitely feel a whole lot more comfortable with actually pointing the crosshair between the two targets with no problems at all. So I think it's an interesting thing to experiment just to see which is the most comfortable for you. Like, can you snap between the two targets as quickly as possible? And of course, like I said, you're doing this at 0, 0, and if you feel like your gyro is too slow, then of course speed it up so it feels a little bit more comfortable. And if you feel like it's too fast, then slow it down if you feel like it's not as comfortable for you as well. So one thing I also think is really interesting to take note is that if you tend to use a faster sensitivity, it might be more of an option to actually hold your controller within your lap. Because like I said, I'm using +5 sensitivity, and when I have my controller in my lap, it generally feels like I have a lot more control over the crosshair, and it just feels like, because my my wrists are kind of like hitting the sides of my legs each time, or that I'm using the sides of my legs just to like keep the controller stable, it just feels a whole lot more comfortable doing that. But if you have your controller in the air, you actually might like or prefer a slower sensitivity because, like I said, doing that same exercise that I told you, I tend to actually overshoot the target a whole lot more using the sending sensitivity, mainly because, of course, there is less, I guess, stabilization with your own body, or I guess stabilization with your legs. So when you use a faster sensitivity while you're in the air, it's a little bit harder to actually keep your aim steady. To give you guys an example, like beforehand in Splatoon 1, we used to play on these things. Let me actually go on the big screen, but we actually use one of these things, a Wii U gamepad. And during my time in 2015 to 2017, and well, not really right now, but back then, I used to use a really slow sensitivity of -1.5. But the thing is, I used to have my controller in the air. Like I used to actually hold it up like this. And I think I was actually able to control a slower sensitivity because of that one reason. Nowadays, when I play Splatoon 1, because now I actually just, I guess I'm lazy now and I rest my controller on my legs, I actually play on the Wii U gamepad with plus 0.5. Just a little side note, if you are a Splatoon 1 player and you played, of course, back then or play still now, there's something that you also need to know. The default motion sensitivity in Splatoon 1 is -1, just like it is in this game, but the sensitivity back in Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 3 are two different sensitivities. The default sensitivity in Splatoon 1 is probably the equivalent of +4 gyro control in this game. The stick is, well, definitely much different, but if you're coming back from that game, or I guess playing it now, just give it a try just to see if it feels comfortable for you. If it doesn't, then it doesn't, of course. But when I figured that out, I turned my sensitivity right back up and I've been using basically +5 ever since I'm now using 0.5. So the stick is not the same. So it's something that you're going to have to figure out for yourself. But I'd also suggest for you guys to actually give that a try just to see. Either way, back to Splatoon 3. Now, the next exercise drill that I'm going to try and get you guys to do is, of course, look at this target and look at this target. But this time we're going to include our movement stick, which is of course the left stick. And every time we turn left, we want to also move the gyro left, but also have the crosshair on this target as well. And then we're going to look to the right target, and we're going to do the same thing going back. Now, what this is going to imitate is basically of just trying to adjust your movement or trying to feel comfortable moving your sensitivity or your gyro sensitivity with your left stick at the same time. When it comes to finding your sensitivity, it's not all just about if you can move your gyro perfectly. I mean, it's definitely a big part of it, but at the same time, you're also going to be moving, which is also going to be moving your crosshair as well. So I want you guys to experiment what is comfortable when moving left to right or side to side or back and forth when you moving your gyro aim. I'm of course going to ask you to do this in your lap as well, but I'm also going to ask you to do this in the air as well, just to see what is more comfortable for you. Now, those are some really simple drills that you could do for yourself to really figure out what is most comfortable for you. The next thing, of course, is figuring out your stick sensitivity. And to be honest, most of the time, I mean, this is different for everyone. When it comes to using gyro control, using a faster stick sensitivity is usually, I guess, favored, mainly because it's a lot easier to perform a full 180 just like that, because of course it's only one input. You just hold the right stick either left or right and you're already doing a full 180. The thing is with gyro control is that when you're playing with it, the right stick is basically just going to help you look at those targets, or basically look at where you want to look, and then you finish the whole job with gyro itself. So you can basically do a little exercise with this target here and this target here. And what I'm going to ask you guys to do, of course, is first shoot this target, turn the stick, shoot that target, turn the stick, shoot the target, turn the stick, and basically keep doing that. And basically just figure out what is most comfortable for you. Is it really comfortable to use a fast stick sensitivity? Is it comfortable for you to use a slower stick sensitivity? It's all basically dependent on you and how you think things should control for your game. At the same time, when using a faster stick sensitivity, you do have the control of making the stick go slowly, just like this. You can go basically as slow as -5 stick sensitivity, depending on, of course, how much you actually like push the stick or anything like that. So it is all, of course, dependent on you. I also think that's one of the plus sides of using a faster stick sensitivity, because you have the benefit of turning really fast and also turning really slow. But at the end of the day, of course, it depends on how sensitive you want your stick as well. Like if you want it slow, then you can have it slow. If you want it fast, you can have it fast. But personally, I like it when it's fast. And again, while doing this exercise, you can also mix it up as well. Like you can go back and forth, you can go back from one side and also just get some movement into it as well, because this is the type of stuff you're going to be doing in game. Like you're going to be either jumping, you're going to either be pushing forward, you're even going to be pushing left. You can even be pushing right. Like, you have to get your movement within I guess, these drills and exercises, because it's going to really determine what sensitivity is perfect for you, and it's going to really show how well you can actually control your gyro as you're going forward. Now, one thing I actually haven't mentioned that I'm going to talk about now is talking about the whole thing of, do I want my controller to be in my lap, or do I want my controller to be in the air? And the way I answer this is just do what it feels most natural for you. If you feel like it's most natural for you to have your controller within the air, then do that. If you feel it's more natural for you to just have your controller on your legs, then do that too. Literally what I am asking you guys is just to hold the controller and sit as you would normally sit when holding a controller. Don't do anything extra. Like, seriously, do not do anything extra, because that's gonna throw you off way more. Think about it. Let's just say that we have one crazy guy that's like the best aimer in the world, but they hold their controller like this. And it's just like, what? Oh man, I'm so good at Splatoon. I'm really, really good at aiming. And I think I'm super stable while holding my controller like this. So then you're inspired by that one guy, and then you try doing it, and then you do the same thing, but it's super uncomfortable for you. Just because it might be comfortable for someone to hold their controller in a certain style does not necessarily mean that it's going to be the right one for you. Because it's the same thing of holding a controller like this and turning your gyro like this, because people feel comfortable doing that, or some people, of course, control a controller like this. I personally do hold my controller like this because it's most comfortable for me. At the end of the day, you need to do what feels comfortable for you, because you can't just copy someone and expect it to be comfortable. Like, you need to just do what just feels super natural, because that's what's going to give you that absolute perfect sensitivity. And of course, with a lot of experimentation and figuring out what is, like, I guess, the best for you, and like how much you need to turn and all that type of stuff, that is going to help you have like absolute god aim and all that type of jazz. So like I said, +5/+5 is the most perfect sensitivity for me at this point in time. Right now, I have no like absolute issues with this. I can snipe at this sensitivity and it just feels super comfortable. Like, it doesn't feel like I have any restrictions. I have like full control over my crosshair, and it doesn't feel like I'm having to do anything extra. I can just aim at anything really, really quickly and almost seamlessly. We're just gonna ignore that I missed that. See, I hit him twice, so. Those particular exercises, I feel like, will be good enough to actually really figure out what is your perfect sensitivity. Like I said at the start of the video, choose 0, 0. Start from there. If you feel like 0 gyro is too fast for you, slow it down. If you feel like it's too slow, speed it up. Same thing with the sticks. And just really try to experiment just to see which is more perfect for you. So yeah, there's a lot of repetition in this video, but it's just, I have to really like let you know that you have to do a lot of experimentation to actually figure out what your perfect sensitivity is for you, and what feels right for you. I mean, I think those exercises are going to be good, because I think how you hold your controller and how, like, the position of where you hold your controller is also a really big factor. But yeah, guys, that is pretty much how you can find your perfect sensitivity. It's going to take a little bit. It's going to take a lot of experimentation. Let me know in the comment section below if this has helped you in any sort of way. I know it's like a video that I've kind of done before, but there are a couple of extra things that I haven't talked about, so I feel like there's some value with that. And yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a like if you did, and if it helped you. And also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for more educated Splatoon content, funny moments, and maybe skits in the time being. So yeah, thank you so much, guys, and I shall see you guys in a future video.